Right friends, we'll take next section, section number 24. Section number 24 is what you know. Section number 24 deals with those cases where a person is under obligation to take registration. If you remember, section number 22 is person who is required to take registration. It's a general section. Section 23 is nothing but relaxation given from exemption. That is, those people who are not supposed to take registration. Registration नहीं चाहिए. Section number 24 deals with what? List of those cases where registration becomes what sir? Mandatory. Registration लेना है तो लेना ही पड़ेगा. Irrespective of your turnover, you need to take what sir? Registration. Shall we take this point one by one? Important है, bits के लिए पूछ सकता है. They can give you 4 cases, then they can ask you identify in which cases registration is required or identify in which case registration is not required. Bits के लिए super important section, right now. So I am going one by one. Supply is liable to take suppliers liable to take registration mandatorily. It's not suppliers, it's you can simply write persons. Persons liable to take registration what sir? Mandatorily. Section 24 deals with a list of those cases where registration is becoming what's a mandatory. Therefore, irrespective of turnover, TO matlab turnover, one has to obtain registration. Irrespective of your turnover, you have to take what's a registration. First one, where the supplier makes what's a interstate supply. If you are making any interstate supply of good or service, registration becomes what's a mandatory. However, in section number 23, we remembered one thing. If your turnover does not exceed 10, 20 or 40, and if you are doing interstate supplies, then registration is not required, right? So ये हो गया आपका point number 1. Second one is a casual taxable person. See, I will tell you what is casual taxable person. See, imagine I am having a place of business in Telangana. Example sake, I am having a coaching center. Imagine I go to Bangalore for taking some classes there where I don't have any permanent place of business. So Bangalore falls where? In Karnataka. So Karnataka mein I am providing service but I don't have any registration in Karnataka. So what should I do? Should I apply for full registration? Government says not required. If you are providing services or supply of good occasionally, you can take a registration as what sir? Casual taxable person. उसको हम लोग बोलते हैं CTP. Now what is CTP? Casual taxable person. A casual taxable person is nothing but a person who makes supply of good or services at a place where he does not have any permanent place of business, right now? ठीक है, तो detailed discussion of CTP will do separately. Government says if you want to provide service as a CTP, registration becomes what sir? Mandatory, right now? Point number 3, a person who is required to pay tax under what sir? Reverse charge mechanism. If you remember, section 9 subsection 3 में we have seen many cases where recipient has to pay tax. Chapter number 3 में पढ़ाया था, right? Advocate services, government services, remember na? What you call director services. There are many cases where the recipient of service has to pay the tax. So government says wherever recipient of supply is supposed to pay the tax, let him take registration. मतलब कभी भी if you are supposed to pay tax under reverse charge mechanism, then you are under obligation to go for what's a registration. Whether or not you do any outward supply or whether or not your turnover crosses 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs limit. Am I clear? So that's third case. Point number 4 is nothing but any person who being a e-commerce operator. If you remember, section 9 subsection 5 में पढ़ाया था आप लोगों को what do you mean by e-commerce operator. Now what is an e-commerce operator? A person who acts like an aggregator. A person who brings service provider and service recipient on a single platform is called nothing but what's an e-commerce operator. So government says any person who wants to act like an e-commerce operator has to take registration mandatorily. Am I clear, sir? Next, point number 5. Any person who provides the supplies on behalf of another person, that's called nothing but if you want to act like a job worker or if you want to act like what's an agent, if you want to act like what's an auctioneer. Auctioneer मतलब दूसरों के goods आप auction करोगे. In that case, registration becomes what sir? Mandatory. Government says अगर आपको दूसरों के लिए सप्लाई करना है, दूसरों के लिए काम करना है, then you have to take registration mandatorily. Am I clear, sir? Next, any person who want to act like what sir? Input service distributor. Now ISD you may not be aware, sir. It's not important for IPCC. Still I'll discuss. Imagine a company got 2 offices. है सुनना है. A company got 2 offices, right now? Say one in Telangana and say one in Maharashtra, right? Maharashtra office wants to pass on credit to Telangana office. सुनना ध्यान से, महाराष्ट्र की ऑफिस को क्रेडिट पास ऑन करना है किसको? तेलंगाना की ऑफिस को. बोथ आर अंडर द सेम कंपनी कॉल्ड एक्स लिमिटेड. हाउ दे कैन डू? महाराष्ट्र ऑफिस हैज टू टेक अ रजिस्ट्रेशन एज व्हाट, यू नो, इनपुट सर्विस डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर, ISD बोलते हैं। वो अपना क्रेडिट डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं दूसरों को मतलब विद इन द सेम कंपनी यू आर एलिजिबल टू डिस्ट्रीब्यूट द क्रेडिट ऑफ वन ऑफिस टू व्हाट सर, अनदर ऑफिस। द पर्सन हु वांट टू डिस्ट्रीब्यूट द क्रेडिट इज कॉल्ड नथिंग बट व्हाट सर, ISD। उसको हम लोग बोलते हैं इनपुट सर्विस डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर। एम आई क्लियर? नेक्स्ट, a person who is required to deduct TDS or TCS. See, this we learn in CA Finance section number 51 and section number 52. Any person who is required to deduct TDS, tax deducted at source, and collect tax, that's called tax collected at source under GST. Income tax nahi, come on, it's not income tax, TDS or TCS. In GST we got TDS and TCS separately. So any person who is supposed to deduct TDS or collect TCS is supposed to go for registration, because बिना registration के आप कलेक्ट किया हुआ टैक्स गवर्नमेंट को कैसे भरोगे? टू पे द टैक्स टू गवर्नमेंट, नो डाउट यू हैव कलेक्टेड टैक्स, टू पे द टैक्स टू गवर्नमेंट यू शुड हैव रजिस्ट्रेशन और नॉट? यस। नेक्स्ट, एनी अदर पर्सन नोटिफाइड बाय सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ऑन द रिकमेंडेशन ऑफ व्हाट सर, GST काउंसिल। तो ठीक है, देखेंगे। सो सेक्शन नंबर 24 प्रोवाइड्स द लिस्ट ऑफ दोज केसेस वेयर रजिस्ट्रेशन बिकम्स व्हाट सर, मैंडेटरी। फर्स्ट वन इज नथिंग बट यू वांट टू डू व्हाट सर, interstate supply. Second case is nothing but casual taxable person. Third case is nothing but you are supposed to pay tax under reverse charge mechanism. Fourth case is nothing but you want to act like a e-commerce operator. Fifth case is nothing but you want to supply goods or services on behalf of another person, right now. Point number 6 is nothing but you want to act like an ISD. Point number 7 is nothing but you are supposed to deduct TDS or you are supposed to collect TCS under the GST law, section 51 and 52. And last one is nothing but what sir, a case where any other case where central government may notified upon the recommendation of GST council. In all these cases registration becomes what sir, mandatory. Am I clear sir? Next, यहाँ पे थोड़े बहुत additional points आपको दिए हैं reference के लिए. Note number 1, even if principal has taken registration, agent has to take separate registration. Please try to understand. प्रिंसिपल एंड एजेंट अगर है तो एजेंट को अलग रजिस्ट्रेशन लेना पड़ेगा, प्रिंसिपल को अलग रजिस्ट्रेशन लेना पड़ेगा. एजेंट कैन नॉट सप्लाई गुड्स एज इफ ही इज डूइंग एक्टिविटी ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ प्रिंसिपल. आई मे क्लियर सर? ठीक है, पॉइंट नंबर 1. पॉइंट नंबर 2, we remember that even supplies between principal and agent is subject to GST even it is for what sir, no consideration. ये पॉइंट मैंने आपको कहाँ पढ़ाया था? if you remember in schedule number 1. schedule number 1 of CGST Act says what, you know, certain supplies even if it is without consideration it will attract GST. One of such point was nothing but supplies between principal and agent where agent got its own identity. हमें clear? ठीक है, डाउट है तो चैप्टर नंबर 2 में जाके पढ़ना है. Point number 3, a e-commerce operators provides a definition दे रहा हूँ. A e-commerce operators provides a platform electronically through which supplies can reach the customer. Every e-commerce operator is under obligation to take what sir, GST registration irrespective of their turnover. TO मतलब turnover है, confuse नहीं होना. So irrespective of your turnover you are supposed to take what sir, registration. Am I clear up to here? Next, any person who should pay tax under RCM should obtain registration irrespective of your outward supply, as GST cannot be paid without registration. So imagine sir, if I am taking any service from lawyer and those services of lawyer are taxable in my hands, then government says Ashwin Gilda, you take registration whether or not your turnover has crossed what sir, 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs or 10 lakhs limit, right? So ISD already explained, right? A person who is supposed to collect TDS, that's called tax deducted at source, or collect tax, that's called tax collected at source, is also supposed to go for registration. That we learn in CA final, not now. ठीक है ना? ठीक है sir? So this is section number 24 in simple terms. Am I clear? So we have covered principally 3 sections till now. Section number 22, a person who is supposed to go for registration. Section number 23, there is nothing but person who have been given exemption from registration. Section number 24 is nothing but what sir, those persons who are under obligation to go for registration. Am I clear sir? So up to here this is nothing but what sir, procedure law part. Now we will go to section number 25, 26 and 27 in brief I am explaining you for IPCC. Am I clear? पढ़ा देता हूँ सर आप लोगों को, देख लो एक बार, 1 minute. So I am writing here procedure for registration. What is the procedure for registration? A simple chart. Theory मैंने नीचे दिया है, देख लेना बाद में. Procedure for registration. I am discussing section number 25, 26 and 27 in brief only, right ना? अब एक बार ध्यान से समझते हैं थोड़े important points. Please don't confuse yourself. लिसन वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंटली, आराम से सुनना है नहीं तो कंफ्यूज हो जाओगे. सी registration everyone has to take online only. There is no concept of offline registration. Am I clear? Point number 2, how to take registration? One has to take registration through GST common portal. If you remember what is GST common portal, www.gst.gov.in. फिर से रिपीट करता हूँ, www.gst.gov.in. It is the only way you can take registration under GST. Am I clear? Point number 3, फॉर रजिस्ट्रेशन अंडर GST देयर इज नो चार्ज. मतलब गवर्नमेंट कुछ भी नहीं चार्ज करती, बट इफ यू आर टेकिंग हेल्प ऑफ अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट और अ टैक्स प्रैक्टिशनर और एनी अदर पर्सन, दे मे चार्ज सम नॉमिनल फी. अदरवाइज इफ यू वांट टू टेक योर रजिस्ट्रेशन, आप खुद रजिस्ट्रेशन ले सकते हो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. मतलब रजिस्ट्रेशन इज कम्प्लीटली ऑनलाइन. नो. पॉइंट नंबर 4, anyone who want to take registration has to fill a form called GST REG 01. GST REG stands for registration. GST REG 01 is a basic form that you need to fulfill, only after which you will get what's a registration. The registration certificate is going in which form? GST REG 06. फिर से रिपीट करता हूँ, GST REG 06. 01 है application का फॉर्म, रजिस्ट्रेशन कौन से फॉर्म में आएगा? 06 में आएगा. So GST REG 01 is the application for registration. GST REG 06 is nothing but a registration certificate. Am I clear, sir? See, once you get a registration certificate, you are supposed to display that certificate in a prominent place of your place of business. अगर एक प्लेस ऑफ बिजनेस है, एक जगह पे आप चिपका के दिखाइए कि हमारे रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर है, राइट ना. So GST registration number is not confidential, it's a public information. You are supposed to display that you are a registered person under GST at a prominent place. आपके business place में कहीं पे चिपका दो, so that anyone who want to view it can view it. Am I clear up to here? Now let us understand the detailed procedure how to obtain registration. Am I clear, sir? Oh, I forgot to answer you one very very important thing. Let me discuss it separately. See, this is very very important. Within what time we should apply for registration? Within what time we should apply for registration is also one key important question. इसके ऊपर आप एक बिट एक्सपेक्ट कीजिए प्लीज, इसके ऊपर एक बिट एक्सपेक्ट कीजिए, बिकॉज दिस पॉइंट इज लिंक टू योर इनवॉइस चैप्टर, दिस पॉइंट इज ऑल्सो लिंक टू योर रिटर्न चैप्टर. फिर से बोल रहा हूँ, what I am discussing now is super duper important. एक छोटा सा ही पॉइंट है ना, बड़ा कुछ नहीं है, but this point is linked to what all chapter? This point is linked to your registration chapter. This point is linked to your invoice chapter. This point is also linked to what your return chapter. एक ही पॉइंट 3 चैप्टर से लिंक्ड है, तो एक इंपॉर्टेंट बिट आएगा. Now question is what we are trying to learn. We are trying to learn what is the time period within which you are supposed to apply for registration. कितने टाइम पीरियड में रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए एप्लीकेशन डालना है, that you have to see. Now government says, see government का क्या कहना है? If you remember in the morning class what we have remember, ये पढ़ा था, याद है? See, if you are having place of business in Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland and Tripura, let it be good, let it be service. Once your turnover crosses 10 lakhs, you have to apply for registration. Likewise, if you are having place of business in Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Sikkim, Puducherry, Telangana or Uttarakhand, you are supposed to apply for registration once the turnover crosses how much, sir? 20 lakhs. That's called aggregate turnover. In other states, the limit is also same, so that's nothing but 20 lakhs only. But if you are an exclusive supply of good, then the limit is how much? 40 lakh rupees. Government says, now come to our point. Now government says, what is the time limit within which you are supposed to apply for registration? Government says, two things are there. Government says, from the day the turnover exceeds 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs, you should make application. You should make what? Application for registration. Within what time? Within 30 days. 30 दिन के अंदर आपको application डाल देना है. You are duty bound to apply for registration within 30 days from the day your turnover exceeds a specified limit, that is 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs, all India basis. So the basic rule of the law is, please apply for registration within how many days? 30 days from the day your turnover exceeds 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs. Okay, that's point number 1. Point number 2, very important point. Point number 2 says what, see, once you apply for registration, right now, अब ध्यान से सुनो. Imagine this is a financial year, say 1920. Imagine this is the date when your turnover has crossed 20 lakhs. Example sake, this is the date when your turnover has crossed how much, sir? 20 lakhs. So starting from here, within 30 days, example, ये 30 दिन का महीना है समझो, example, within 30 days you should apply for what, sir? Registration. 30 दिन के अंदर आपको registration के लिए apply करना था. Imagine a case, you have made an application here. आपने application डाल दी यहाँ पे. So within 30 days you have applied for registration. Okay. Imagine, see, once you apply for registration, it becomes government duty to grant you registration, right now. Imagine you got registration somewhere here. यहाँ पे आपको registration certificate आ गया. Now doubt should come to your mind, because I made application on this date and I got registration on this date. From what date my registration is valid? Perfect doubt. सुनना है please. आपका turnover कब cross हुआ? Somewhere here your turnover has crossed how much, sir? 20 lakhs. So government has given you how much time? 30 days time to apply for registration. So you have made an application here. So once you make an application, government will take its own time for granting registration. Somewhere here you got registration. Now question comes in mind, from what date is the registration valid? Government says whenever application is made within time, registration will come into force retrospectively. ध्यान से, registration will come into force what, sir? Retrospectively. फिर से बोल रहा हूँ, the day you make an application and if the day happens to be within 30 days from the date your turnover has crossed what, sir? Turnover has crossed 20 lakhs or 10 lakhs or 40 lakhs. Whenever the registration is granted, the registration will come into force what, sir? Retrospectively. From what date it will come into force? It will come into force from the day your turnover has exceeded how much, sir? 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs or 10 lakhs limit. However, don't forget that the retrospective principle will apply only when you have made the application within 30 days. Imagine you did not make the application within 30 days. Second diagram देखो समझ में आएगा. Imagine this is again a financial year. This is the date when your turnover has exceeded how much, sir? 20 lakhs. Example से 20 लाख turnover cross हो गया. You are supposed to make an application within how many days? Within 30 days you are supposed to make an application. But you have made application very late. This is the date you made the application. So did you make the application within time? Just 1 minute. So did you make the application within time? No. So you made application late, you got registration here. Registration यहाँ पे मिला आप लोगों को. Now from what time the registration will come into force? Government case, in this case, retrospective principle will not apply. ये जो principle है ना, retrospective will not apply. Why? Because application was not made in time. Therefore registration will come into force from the date the registration certificate is granted. So it will not come into force retrospectively, it will come into force prospectively. समझ में आ रहा है? Now very very important point for case number 1 and case number 2. See, in case number 1, because your registration will come into force retrospectively, right now, whatever invoices you have issued in this period, you are supposed to go for revision. आगे वो भी पढ़ा देता हूँ, काम हो जाएगा मेरा. तो लिख देता हूँ other points. Other points, if registration is retrospective. ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं है सर, दो ही इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स है. What will happen if your registration will come into force retrospectively? Problem क्या है देखो, try to understand sir. See, because you have made an application here and you got registration here, यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक आपने invoices तो issue कर दिए होंगे ना. You would have already issued invoices because your sales does not come to a stop. You would be continuing to do your business. आपने invoice तो issue किया होगा. So इस period के बारे में क्या करना है? Government says do one thing, for all this period you issue what, for all this period you issue revise invoices. Am I clear? So whenever registration comes into force retrospectively, first is the supplier is supposed to issue revised invoices. So there is a new concept called what's a revised invoices. See, यहीं पे पढ़ लो, फिर से invoice chapter में नहीं पढ़ूंगा. So what you are supposed to do, sir? You are supposed to issue revised invoices. पूरे इनवॉइस को रिवाइज करना है. कौन से पीरियड का? फ्रॉम द डेट योर टर्नओवर एक्सीड्स हाउ मच सर? 20 lakhs up to the point of time you got registration. All those invoices should go for revision. Why revision? Because old invoice में registration number नहीं रहेगा. So government says do one thing, please reissue those invoices again by providing a proper registration number so that the other person can avail credit. Am I clear, sir? That's one thing. Now, how government will come to know what all revised invoices you have issued? Government says for all revised invoices, the supplier should file a return called GST return. एक रिटर्न फाइल पढ़ना पड़ेगा. GST return है. That return is called what? First return. First return means once you got registration and after you have issued revised invoices, you should provide details of all those invoices by filing a return called nothing but what, sir? First return. एक फर्स्ट रिटर्न बोल के एक रिटर्न डालना पड़ेगा. नॉर्मली है, दैट्स कॉल्ड सर नॉर्मल रिटर्न ही है सर. ये GSTR 1 बोल के है. उसमें आपको एक रिटर्न डालना पड़ेगा शोइंग डिटेल्स ऑफ ऑल आउटवर्ड सप्लाईज. बट विच आउटवर्ड सप्लाईज? दोज आउटवर्ड सप्लाईज फॉर विच यू हैव इशूड रिवाइज इनवॉइसेस. When you should issue revised invoices? When you got registration retrospectively. When the registration will come retrospectively? If you have made application within 30 days. 30 days from where? 30 days from the date your turnover has crossed 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs. I hope you got all the consequences of this chart right now. So two principal point. Principal point number 1, for those period you should issue revised invoices, and for that period you should file a return called nothing but what, sir? First return, providing details of what, sir? All revised invoices. Am I clear up to here? बोलो ना सर प्लीज. आई एम क्लियर अप टू हियर सर. सो ये हो गए आपके पॉइंट्स. क्लियर सर? So this is the some important point in relation to what, sir? Application. So please ensure that you should make an application within how many days? 30 days. 30 days from where? 30 days from the date the turnover has exceed how much, sir? 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs और 40 lakhs limit. एक बार वो हो जाता है तो आपका रजिस्ट्रेशन रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव आएगा. देयर बी नो प्रॉब्लम फॉर यू. वाई? गवर्नमेंट अलाउज यू टू इशू रिवाइज इनवॉइसेस एंड गवर्नमेंट आस्क यू टू फाइल अ रिटर्न कॉल्ड व्हाट, सर? एडिशनल रिटर्न कॉल्ड GSTR 1 only. But the return, because it's filed first time, it is named as what, sir? First return. It will be providing details with what, sir? All the invoices which got revised. यहाँ पे एक छोटा बिट पूछ सकता है सर ICAI. Imagine during the period where my turnover has crossed specified limit and up to the point I got registration, I made supply to 5 parties. Oh sir, suppose only one party. For that one party I have given 14 invoices. 14 invoice दिया different dates को. For all those 14 invoices can I issue only one invoice, consolidate in revised invoice. समझ में आ रहा है? थिंक जल्दी कर दिया. सुनना है. सी जिस दिन मेरा टर्नओवर क्रॉस हुआ कितना? जिस दिन मेरा टर्नओवर क्रॉस हुआ कितना? 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs और 40 lakhs. वहाँ से लेके 30 दिन के अंदर तो मेरे को एप्लीकेशन डालना था. तो ठीक है, चलो मैंने एप्लीकेशन डाल दिया, पर उस टाइम पीरियड पे मैंने बहुत सारे इन्वॉइसेस इशू किए होंगे. इमेजिन टू अ पर्सन आई हैव इशूड 7 इन्वॉइसेस इन द पीरियड. फॉर ऑल द 7 इन्वॉइसेस कैन इशू वन कंसोलिडेटेड इन्वॉइस? आंसर इज यस. सो रिवाइज इन्वॉइस, एक इन्वॉइस के लिए वन रिवाइज इन्वॉइस इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. फॉर वन पार्टी, फॉर वन सप्लायर टू वन रिसिपिएंट यू कैन इशू ओनली वन कंसोलिडेटेड इन्वॉइस. आई एम क्लियर अप टू हियर सर? तो ये पॉइंट आपको बिट्स में पूछ सकता है, थोड़ा केयरफुल रहना. हमें क्लियर? सी स्मॉल थिंग्स कैन बी टेस्टेड इन बिट्स. ओके, तो हम लोग क्या करेंगे, थोड़ा अभी डिटेल स्टार्ट करते हैं. आई विल गो फॉर प्रोसीजर फॉर रजिस्ट्रेशन. हाउ टू टेक रजिस्ट्रेशन अंडर GST. सी डोंट फॉरगेट देर इज़ नो अदर वे टू टेक रजिस्ट्रेशन. हर एक को रजिस्ट्रेशन पोर्टल से ही लेना पड़ेगा. एंड दैट पोर्टल इज कॉल्ड नथिंग बट व्हाट, सर? GST कॉमन पोर्टल. व्हाट इज द नेम ऑफ द पोर्टल? चैप्टर 1 में पढ़ाया था ना, www.gst.gov.in. पोर्टल का नाम है भाई, गवर्नमेंट का पोर्टल है. वेबसाइट मत बोलो, गुड्स नहीं बेच रहे हैं ना भाई. सो इट्स कॉल्ड पोर्टल. थ्रू दिस पोर्टल यू कैन अप्लाई फॉर रजिस्ट्रेशन. आई एम क्लियर? जस्ट एक डिटेल्स में आपको शेयर करता हूँ, एक समरी चार्ट दे देता हूँ आपको. यहाँ पे देखिए हाउ टू गो फॉर रजिस्ट्रेशन. फर्स्ट थिंग यू शुड डू इज नथिंग बट यू शुड गो टू GST कॉमन पोर्टल. यू शुड गो टू व्हाट, सर? GST कॉमन पोर्टल. एंड द पोर्टल इज www.gst.gov.in. ये हो गया पोर्टल का नाम. इस पे जाइए, टाइप करने की जरूरत है, गूगल में टाइप कीजिए आ जाता है. गो टू दिस पोर्टल. वंस यू गो टू द पोर्टल, राइट ना, you need to go for GST not R रिटर्न हो जाएगा. You have to go for GST REG 01 पार्ट ए. पार्ट ए में GST REG 01 पार्ट ए बोल के है. उस पार्ट में you have to provide some basic details. What are those details? You have to provide your PAN, permanent account number, PAN. You have to provide what? Your email ID. You have to provide your phone number. फ़ोन नंबर मतलब लैंडलाइन नंबर नहीं दे सकते, मोबाइल नंबर देना होगा. OTP आएगा ना, फिर लैंडलाइन नंबर पे OTP नहीं आता. कमन. सो PAN नंबर, email ID, phone number. These three things you are to supposed to give in GST REG 01. What details? PAN number, email ID, phone number. So your PAN number will get verified through income tax server. Right now वो नेम वैलिडेशन और पैन नंबर का वैलिडेशन हो जाएगा कहाँ से? इनकम टैक्स के वेबसाइट से. ईमेल आईडी एंड फोन नंबर विल वेरीफाइड थ्रू OTPs. हमें क्लियर? तो इफ यू गेट OTP यू हैव टू जस्ट प्रोवाइड द OTP. वंस यू डू दिस, मतलब वंस दिस इज वेरीफाइड, ये वेरिफिकेशन होने के बाद, कंप्लीट वेरिफिकेशन इज डिजिटल, हाँ, नो ह्यूमन इन्वॉल्वमेंट हियर. तो वंस दिस इज गेटिंग वेरीफाइड, व्हाट विल हैपन? यू नीड टू फिल GST REG 01 पार्ट बी. सो एक्चुअली बोलूँ तो ये है डिटेल्ड फॉर्म. इस फॉर्म में आपको पूरे डिटेल्स भरने पड़ेंगे. व्हाट टाइप ऑफ डिटेल्स? बेसिकली इफ रिमेंबर, ऑब्वियसली दे में आस्क यू, अगर इंडिविजुअल की बात करता हूँ लेमैन वर्जन, दे में आस्क योर फुल नेम जो ऑलरेडी आपने दे चुके हैं. पैन नंबर, ईमेल आईडी, फोन नंबर कम्स ऑटोमेटिकली, राइट ना. नेम ऑल्सो मोस्टली कम्स ऑटोमेटिकली बिकॉज पैन नंबर इज प्रोवाइडेड. योर बिजनेस का नाम, ट्रेड का नाम क्या है, राइट ना. एड्रेस क्या है, रेसिडेंशियल एड्रेस क्या है, आपका बिजनेस का एड्रेस क्या है. व्हाट टाइप ऑफ सप्लाई यू आर सपोज टू मेक. HSN कैटेगरी आइडेंटिफाई करने को बोलेंगे. इफ यूर इनटू कोचिंग देन यू हैव टू प्रोवाइड दैट कोचिंग सेंटर का नंबर. सेंटर मतलब सेंटर का नंबर नहीं, वो कोचिंग सर्विसेज के लिए गवर्नमेंट हैज गिवन सम HSN numbers. रिमेंबर इन चैप्टर नंबर 1 आई हैव सेड यू. सो व्हाट टाइप ऑफ गुड्स, व्हाट टाइप ऑफ सर्विसेज यू वांट टू सप्लाई, यू वांट टू प्रोवाइड डिटेल्स ऑफ ऑल दोज थिंग्स हियर. प्लीज ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड. दे मे ऑल्सो आस्क यू, अगर प्लेस ऑफ बिजनेस है तो ओन्ड बिजनेस है या लीज बिजनेस है. मतलब लीज मतलब कोई रेंटेड प्रेमिसेस पे आप बिजनेस कर रहे हो. अगर रेंटेड प्रेमिसेस है तो लीज डीड प्रोवाइड कीजिए, राइट ना सर. मतलब मोस्ट ऑफ द डिटेल्स दे विल आस्क यू टू फिल इन व्हाट सर? GST REG 01 पार्ट बी. Once you provide all the details in GST REG 01 part B, you'll get acknowledgement in GST REG 02. This is nothing but what? This is nothing but acknowledgement that you have filed for what sir? That you have filed for registration. मतलब from your side mostly the duty is done. Whatever requirement is there with the government, जो भी फॉर्म की डिटेल्स से आपने फिल कर दिया, once you submit the form, automatically an acknowledgement number will be generated, and that acknowledgement number is given in which form? GST REG 02. हर चीज़ के लिए एक फॉर्म है, ठीक है ना. तो उस फॉर्म में आपको एक्नॉलेजमेंट आ जाएगा, उसको आप सेव करके रख लो, डिजिटली सेव कर लो, बस है. बिकॉज इन फ्यूचर इफ यू वांट टू ट्रैक योर एप्लीकेशन, हाउ यू विल ट्रैक योर एप्लीकेशन? बाय दिस एक्नॉलेजमेंट नंबर, ठीक है ना. ठीक है, आई विल शेयर अदर डिटेल्स ऑल्सो विथ यू. वंस यू आर डन विद दिस, व्हाट विल हैपन? सी, टू थिंग्स कैन हैपन. एवरीथिंग फाइल्ड बाय यू इज परफेक्ट. गवर्नमेंट को कोई वेरिफिकेशन में प्रॉब्लम नहीं आया. वॉट एवर डिटेल्स गवर्नमेंट हैज सॉट इन GST R01 पार्ट बी, यू प्रोवाइड एवरी डिटेल. सो टू थिंग्स कैन हैपन फ्रॉम हियर. हैव अ लुक सर. if GST department that's official has no query on application, if they have no query on application, then registration would be granted. वाओ, हो गया रजिस्ट्रेशन, बस आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन मिल जाता है. हाउ, इन विच फॉर्म द रजिस्ट्रेशन इज ग्रांटेड? द रजिस्ट्रेशन इज ग्रांटेड इन GST REG 06. सो दिस इज द फॉर्म इन विच यू गेट द रजिस्ट्रेशन. ये हो गया आपका फॉर्म जिसमें आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन मिल जाएगा. फॉर्म मतलब आपको भरने की जरूरत नहीं, वो एक प्री फिल्ड फॉर्मेट है जहाँ पे आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन मिलता है, ठीक है ना. ठीक है, आई विल शेयर अनदर वीडियो हाउ द फॉर्म लुक्स लाइक, ठीक है ना. सो इफ द डिपार्टमेंट हैज नो क्वेरीज इन योर एप्लीकेशन मेड, स्ट्रेट विल गेट द रजिस्ट्रेशन मैक्स टू मैक्स विद इन 3 वर्किंग डेज. 3 वर्किंग डे में आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन मिल जाता है. दैट इज ऑल्सो डिजिटल ओनली, राइट. डिजिटली मिल जाएगा, आपको ईमेल आ जाएगा दैट योर रजिस्ट्रेशन हैज बीन ग्रांटेड. यू कैन डाउनलोड द सर्टिफिकेट थ्रू द पोर्टल. इमेजिन अ सेक, अगर एप्लीकेशन में कुछ क्वेरीज है, Second case, this is one thing can happen. Second thing can happen, what you know, in case if department has queries on application made, अगर कुछ मिसमैच हो रहा है डिटेल्स का, उनको कुछ और डिटेल्स चाहिए, then queries will be raised. Then queries will be raised in which form? In GST REG 03. ये फॉर्म है जिसमें आपको क्वेरीज आ जाएगी. प्लीज ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड. मतलब हर चीज़ के लिए फॉर्म है, हाँ हर चीज़ के लिए फॉर्म है. तो अगर डिपार्टमेंट को कोई भी क्वेरी रेज करनी है, वो कौन से फॉर्म में क्वेरी रेज करेंगे? GST REG 03 में क्वेरी रेज करेंगे. जनरली क्वेरी कितने दिन में आ जाती है? 7 डेज़ के अंदर, 3 डेज़ के अंदर क्वेरीज आ जाती है. सो या तो रजिस्ट्रेशन आ जाएगा, नहीं तो क्वेरी आ जाएगी 3 दिन के अंदर. नो, व्हाट यू नीड टू डू, you need to reply to the query. Do you agree? Because when the department has raised query, you are supposed to reply to the query, right? So applicant should reply to queries in form GST REG 04. तो ये जो फॉर्म है, इस फॉर्म में आपको क्या देना पड़ेगा? आपको डिटेल्स देने पड़ेंगे आपके क्वेरीज के रिप्लाईज का. सो दे विल रेज क्वेरीज इन GST REG 03. यू नीड टू रिप्लाई इन विच फॉर्म? GST REG 04. सी वंस यू गिव योर रिप्लाई, देयर इज अ टाइम पीरियड विद इन विच यू आर सपोज टू मेक अ रिप्लाई, दैट इज जनरली 7 वर्किंग डेज. 3 दिन में वो लोग क्वेरीज रेज करेंगे, उसके नेक्स्ट 7 वर्किंग डेज में आपको रिप्लाई करना पड़ेगा, राइट ना? ठीक है, चलो. वंस यू रेज क्वेरीज, 2 थिंग्स कैन हैपन अगेन फ्रॉम हियर. 2 थिंग्स कैन हैपन depending on your query reply. Either registration may be granted or your application may be rejected. 2 things can happen. First, if response is adequate or sufficient, then GST REG 06 will be generated. In simple terms, registration मिल गया आपको, आपका registration हो गया. इन सिंपल टर्म्स यू हैव बीन ग्रांटेड रजिस्ट्रेशन, कंग्रेचुलेशंस, है ना भाई? मिल गया भाई आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन. अगर आप बोलते हो नहीं भाई अभी भी कुछ क्वेरीज है एंड बाई चांस गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट इन अ पोजिशन टू गिव यू रजिस्ट्रेशन, देन एप्लीकेशन इज रिजेक्टेड. देन एप्लीकेशन इज व्हाट? आपका एप्लीकेशन रिजेक्ट हो जाएगा. नो, व्हाई एप्लीकेशन इज रिजेक्टेड? इवन द रीजंस ऑफ रिजेक्शन ऑफ एप्लीकेशन विल ऑल्सो बी गिवन इन अ फॉर्म कॉल्ड GST REG 05. Don't worry, in GST REG 05 they will detailedly give you the reason why your application got rejected, because this form के basis पे आप appeal file कर सकते हो. Getting or not sir? So this is the form based on which you can go for what sir? Appeal. If you feel from your side everything has been replied but still government does not want to give registration, very rare case, right ना? So this is how the procedure goes on sir. समझ में आया? ये पूरा डिटेल मैंने नेक्स्ट पेज में समझाया आपको. दिस इज द समरी चार्ट. सी नो वन इज गोइंग टू आस्क यू, बट एज अ स्टूडेंट यू शुड हैव सम जनरल नॉलेज हाउ टू अप्लाई फॉर रजिस्ट्रेशन एंड व्हाट इज ऑल द प्रोसीजर्स. मेन एप्लीकेशन तो आपका आता है इसमें GST REG 01 में मेन एप्लीकेशन आता है. दिस इज द मेन थिंग थ्रू विच यू नीड टू फिल ऑल द डिटेल्स एंड 99% आपका कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगा, आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन ग्रांट हो जाएगा. बिकॉज इवन गवर्नमेंट वॉन्ट more person should be covered in what sir? Registration. Am I clear up to here sir? Right? So यहाँ पे पूरा डिटेल प्रोसेस दिया है, पढ़ लेना. No, this is wrong. It will come into force from the date the turnover has exceeded 10 lakhs और 20 lakhs और 40 lakhs. तो ये गलती से लिख दिया है, करेक्शन करा दे रहा हूँ. सो दिस इज द डिटेल्ड प्रोसीजर सर. आई हैव गिवन द डिटेल्ड प्रोसीजर. सी वन इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग द ICAI may ask you in exam is what is the date within which you should apply for registration. Law says you should apply for registration within how many days? 30 days. From where? From the date your turnover exceeds 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs limit, depending on which state you are doing business or from which state you are doing taxable supply, right now. So once the target of 10, 20 or 40 is met, please apply for registration within how many days? 30 days. Because if you apply for registration within 30 days, then two more formalities you can do. See, once the registration is granted, registration will come into force what? Retrospectively. Once the registration comes into force retrospectively, what will happen? All those invoices which have been issued during the period for which there was no registration, for that period, मतलब 10 लाख 20 लाख 40 लाख क्रॉस होने के बाद का पीरियड, for that period you can issue what's a revised invoices so that you can collect tax and the other party can claim what's a ITC. Two things. Second thing, you need to file a return called what's a first return. What is first return? First return is nothing but normal return only. GST REC 0, GST R1 only. Details of outward supply. But which outward supply? Those outward supplies for which you have issued what's a revised invoices. ये सब चीज़ें याद रखना, इनवॉइस चैप्टर में रिवाइज कराऊंगा, ठीक है ना. चलो, सो दिस डिटेल नोट्स आई एम शेयरिंग विथ यू, यू कैन रीड बाय योर सेल्फ. आई एम नॉट रीडिंग लाइन बाय लाइन, ये पूरा पढ़ लेना, ठीक है ना. कितना टाइम लगता है, क्या लगता है, ये सब याद रख लेना आप लोग, ठीक है. सो दिस इज द प्रोसीजर पार्ट व्हेन इट कम्स टू 25, 26 एंड 27 इन जनरल, ठीक है ना. नो सम 2-3 थिंग्स यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड हियर सर. एक 2-3 चीज़ें हैं जो आपको सीखनी पड़ेगी यहाँ पे, बता देता हूँ आपको. इफ यू रिमेंबर, सी इफ यू आर हैविंग सी registration under GST is state wise. If you are having place of business in Telangana and Andhra, बता ही देता हूँ लिख के, है ना भाई, confusion नहीं आएगा. Suppose X Limited is there, ये सब याद रखना. X Limited is there, they got a place of business in Telangana, say Hyderabad. They got place of business in Andhra Pradesh, Vijayawada. अरे बोलो भाई, समझ में आ रहा है ना. X Limited got 2 place of business, तेलंगाना एंड आंध्र प्रदेश. तेलंगाना में हैदराबाद है, आंध्र प्रदेश विजयवाड़ा, ठीक है ना, वहाँ पे प्लेस ऑफ बिजनेस है. नो इफ यू रिमेंबर, इफ दे आर मेकिंग सप्लाई फ्रॉम बोथ द प्लेसेस, दे नीड टू टेक 2 separate registration. Here they need to take registration of Telangana, here also they need to take registration of what's आंध्र प्रदेश. 2 registration लेने पड़ेंगे. नो बिकॉज 2 registration लेने पड़ेंगे, नो डाउट द पैन नंबर ऑफ रजिस्ट्रेशन विल बी सेम ओनली. पैन नंबर तो सेम रहेगा ना, स्टेट कोड अलग रहेगा, बट द पैन नंबर वुड बी सेम, राइट. नो गवर्नमेंट सेज because both are having separate place of businesses and both are having separate registration, these two places, these two offices of this person are called as what, you know, distinct person. याद है? Hello. These two offices of the same person are called as what, sir? Distinct person. इनको अलग अलग ट्रीट किया जाएगा अंडर द GST लॉ. नो डाउट बोथ द प्लेसेस फॉल्स फॉर द सेम कंपनी. दोनों ऑफिसेस एक ही कंपनी के नीचे हैं, एक्स लिमिटेड के नीचे ही हैं. से तेलंगाना में एक ऑफिस है, आंध्र प्रदेश में एक ऑफिस है, पर बिकॉज दे आर हैविंग सेपरेट रजिस्ट्रेशन, दे विल बी ट्रीटेड एज व्हाट, यू नो, डिस्टिंक्ट पर्सन. एंड बिकॉज इट्स अ डिस्टिंक्ट पर्सन, सप्लाई बिटवीन दीज 2 पर्सन विल ऑल्सो अट्रैक्ट GST. कहाँ पढ़ा था ये पॉइंट? शेड्यूल नंबर 2 ऑफ नो शेड्यूल नंबर 1 ऑफ CGST एक्ट. शेड्यूल नंबर 1 ऑफ CGST एक्ट में मैंने क्या पढ़ाया था? सप्लाई बिटवीन रिलेटेड पार्टीज और सप्लाई बिटवीन डिस्टिंक्ट पर्सन्स इज ऑल्सो सब्जेक्ट टू GST वेदर और नॉट देर इज अ कंसिडरेशन, बट सच सप्लाई शुड बी इन द कोर्स ऑफ बिजनेस. याद आ रहा है ये सब पॉइंट? चैप्टर नंबर 2 में पढ़ाया था ना. तो चैप्टर नंबर 2 में वी हैव डिस्कस व्हाट? चैप्टर नंबर 2 में शेड्यूल नंबर 1 में क्या पढ़ाया था? सर्टेन सप्लाईज even it is for without consideration it attract what, sir? GST. At that point of time we have used this word called what, sir? Distinct person. So 2 offices of the same person having different registration will be treated as what, sir? Distinct person. And supply between these 2 offices will also attract what, sir? GST. Whether or not there is a consideration. Am I clear? Logic बहुत simple है सर. अगर तेलंगाना के पास कुछ परचेज है और अगर AP को सप्लाई करना चाहते हैं, Telangana office has purchased some goods in Telangana, they want to supply this to AP office so that AP office can make a sale. Now if they simply pass the goods and they don't raise invoice, what will happen? यहाँ का credit यहीं पे रह जाएगा. To pass the credit, government says let the Telangana office raise an invoice on which office? AP office. So in this example, Telangana office will become nothing but what, sir? Supplier. And Vijayawada office will become nothing but what, sir? Recipient. समझ में आ रहा है भाई? पढ़ना तो पड़ेगा क्योंकि तो बिट्स है ना. इफ़ यू डोंट रीड इन डिटेल यू मे गेट स्क्रूड इन बिट्स, राइट. सो बिट्स के लिए तो ये सब पढ़ना ही पड़ेगा. 2 offices of the same person having different registrations will be taken as what's a distinct person, and this concept assumes importance where in schedule number 1. What does schedule number 1 deals with? Supplies without consideration. Supplies without consideration are taken as what, sir? Deemed supplies. कुछ याद आ रहा है? Right? So remember all this concept. ठीक है ना सर? Am I clear with this concept? चलो आगे जाएंगे. So what we have done with this, sir? We have completed section number 22, persons who are supposed to take for registration. Section number 23, relaxation to those persons who are not supposed to take registration. Section number 24, persons under obligation to take registration. Section number 25, 26 and 27, overview of registration, right na sir? Then comes section number 28, 29 and 30. 28 क्या है? Amendment to registration. 29 क्या है? Cancellation of registration. 30 क्या है? 30 is nothing but revival of cancelled registration. मतलब registration surrender कर दिया, उसको आपको फिर से revive करना है. Then you can do the formalities given in section number 30. Am I clear up to here? चलो super. Right, we'll take the next section number 28, right? Section number 28 क्या किसके बारे में डील करता है? Amendment of registration. See, you think once you have taken registration under GST, what is the need to go for amendment? सोचेंगे तो समझ में आएगा. ठीक है, ये सब बाद में पढ़ लेंगे. Think first basically what could be the requirement to go for amendment of registration. मतलब कुछ change करना है आपको registration में. One thing can happen. See, you would have changed your name मतलब आपका नाम नहीं, business का नाम. Trade name would have changed, right? Second is nothing but your phone number could have undergone a change. Your email ID could have undergone a change. ये तो बहुत basic things है. Your place of business could have undergone a change. Imagine earlier you are doing business in Banjara Hills. Now you have shifted the same business to High Tech City. तो your business details, business तो same है, पर business का address तो बदल गया ना. So then also you need to go for amendment of registration. Likewise, earlier you were providing 2 services. Now you started providing additional service. There have become total 3 services. So the third service should also be added to registration. मतलब आपका अगर बिजनेस एक्सपैंड हो रहा है या कंसोलिडेट हो रहा है कोविड के कारण, एग्जांपल, दोनों केसेस में आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा? रजिस्ट्रेशन को अमेंड करना पड़ेगा. Whenever your business expands, you start adding new services, you start providing new supply of goods, you need to go for what's that? Amendment of registration. What else can happen when you want to go for amendment, right? What else can happen? Now think, imagine you are shifting your business from Telangana to Andhra. आपका रजिस्ट्रेशन है तेलंगाना में, आप आंध्र प्रदेश में शिफ्ट हो रहे हो, मतलब कंप्लीट स्टेट का शिफ्ट है. विल यू गो फॉर अमेंडमेंट ऑफ रजिस्ट्रेशन और कैंसिलेशन ऑफ रजिस्ट्रेशन? थिंक. ऑब्वियसली टू गो फॉर कैंसिलेशन, बिकॉज अमेंडमेंट नहीं करा सकते आप, बिकॉज तेलंगाना रजिस्ट्रेशन हैज़ टू गेट कैंसल्ड. यू नीड टू अप्लाई फॉर अ न्यू रजिस्ट्रेशन और फ्रेश रजिस्ट्रेशन वेयर इन आंध्र प्रदेश, बिकॉज तेलंगाना का रजिस्ट्रेशन अलग नंबर रहेगा और आंध्रा का रजिस्ट्रेशन कंप्लीट अलग रहेगा. So you need to go for a fresh registration in Andhra. So if you are just changing the place of business from one state to another state, this section does not apply. You have to go for section number 29. Am I clear? ठीक है सर. Basically government का भी requirement है that whenever there is a change in any field of registration, right ना sir, please intimate the change to the government within how many days? Within 15 days. 15 दिन के अंदर आपको गवर्नमेंट को इंटीमेशन देना पड़ेगा there is a change. How to give intimation? By using this section and by going for what's that? Amendment of registration. For amendment we use a form called what, GST REG 14. REG मतलब registration का form है, जैसे REG 1 है, REG 2 है. So GST REG 14 is a form through which we make an application for amendment of registration. Please try to understand. Registration number remains same. Only some data in the registration undergoes a change. Number नहीं बदलेगा, number वही रहेगा. Registration number does not change. Only changes is the fields. Certain data of registration will undergo a change. Am I clear? तो I'll start with it, sir. Have a look, line by line पढ़ लेता हूँ आप लोगों के लिए, देख लो एक बार, काम आएगा. ठीक है? Yeah. A person to whom a registration has been granted is duty bound to intimate the department within 15 days from the date of change. Any change happens, you are supposed to intimate, right now. Like example, change in phone number, change in email ID, change in name, change in partners composition, change in directors composition, etc. अगर company है तो SSC has to make an application. SSC मतलब the registered person has to make an application in which form? GST REG 14. The information of change can be 2 fields में. अब ध्यान से देखो, नॉन कोर फील्ड्स, कोर फील्ड्स. मतलब whatever changes you are supposed to make, it can be broadly classified into two: core fields, non core fields. core मतलब नाम से पता चल रहा है important information change हो रही है. non core fields are those fields it's not that important right now. Government says non core fields you can simply change it, it can be verified online automatically. But core fields का अगर amendment कुछ लेके आ रहे हो right now, for that approval is required by the proper officer. So I just given examples of core field and non core field, you can just go through. After due verification, registration will be granted. What do you mean due verification? As an officer का involvement नहीं रहेगा. For example, if you want to go for change in phone number, that can be done through what sir? OTP. मतलब old number निकल गया, new number आ जाएगा, new number पे OTP आ जाएगा. You can simply go for what sir? Change in this field, right ना? And automatically fresh registration is granted sir with the same number. Certificate generate होगा, पर number तो वही रहेगा. Whenever there is a change in core fields, like business का नाम बदल दिया, business का place बदल दिया, this is all core field change right now. Whenever there is a change in core fields, government says let the officer approve it. Officer of GST will take a call whether you want to accept the change or not. Once you accept the changes, a fresh registration is granted. Am I clear sir? So once you do changes to a core field, like you are changing the name of the business right now, or any other core field you are changing, you are adding additional place of business, etc., government will do what sir? Detailed verification. And once the government does a detailed verification, that is proper officer will take somewhere around 15 days time. Within those 15 days time, we will give you acceptance for that changes in what sir? Core field. Once he gives the acceptance, registration certificate would be granted. Am I clear sir? वो सब चीज़ें यहाँ पे दी है. By chance if the proper officer rejects that changes to core fields are not acceptable, in that case your application will be what sir? Rejected. And by chance if your application is rejected, the notice will be given in which form sir? Form number 03 में आपको notice मिल जाएगा कि why your registration has been, why your application for changes to core field has been rejected. Am I clear? This is very much appealable document, you can make an appeal. Rest of the things you can just casually go through, not that big deal. Am I clear sir? So this is all about what sir? This is all about this is all about amendment to registration certificate. अब ध्यान से सुनो. Amalgamating company is there, amalgamated company is there. Amalgamating company got merged with another company, and that company is called nothing but amalgamated company. Will the amalgamating company will apply for change in registration? No. Why? Because amalgamating company business gets closed, it has to get liquidated. Thereby, the registration of amalgamating company will also get closed. Amalgamated company has to go for either for a fresh registration or they have to go for a change in the registration. Registration number of amalgamating company will not continue. उसको कैंसिल करना पड़ेगा क्यों? तो कंपनी बंद हो गई ना. अगर एक बार कंपनी बंद हो गई तो उसका रजिस्ट्रेशन भी कैंसिल हो जाएगा ऑब्वियसली, राइट? सो दिस सेक्शन विल नॉट अप्लाई. सेक्शन नंबर 29 विल अप्लाई इन दैट केस. एम आई क्लियर? तो जाते हैं हम लोग नेक्स्ट सेक्शन में. सेक्शन नंबर 29, कैंसिलेशन ऑफ रजिस्ट्रेशन. अच्छा टॉपिक है, इंपॉर्टेंट है, देखेंगे. Cancellation of registration. Nothing coolly. In what situations you may feel that your registration has to get cancelled? सोचना पड़ेगा ना. Registration क्यों हम लोग cancel कराते हैं? One good reason is I don't want to continue my business. I am closing my business, and because I am closing my business, I want to surrender my registration. चलो, good answer. Second good reason could be nothing but what you know. Imagine it's a partnership firm. The partnership firm got dissolved. When the firm got dissolved, business may continue or may not continue. Please try to understand. Business may be continued by one or more partners, but because the firm is dissolved, the registration has to get cancelled. मतलब अगर AOP है, BOI है, पार्टनरशिप फर्म है, ये सब अगर डिसॉल्व हो रहे हैं तो ऑब्वियसली द रजिस्ट्रेशन हैज़ टू गेट व्हाट सर? कैंसिल्ड. लाइकवाइज अमालगमेशन केस है, कंपनी डिसोल्यूशन केस है, कंपनी लिक्विडेशन केस है. इन ऑल दिस केस ऑल्सो व्हाट विल हैपन सर? द रजिस्ट्रेशन विल गेट कैंसिल्ड. डू यू रिमेंबर? नो. फोर्थ केस सर, सी इन केस ऑफ अ प्रोपरेटर, अगर इंडिविजुअल का बिजनेस है, इफ द प्रोपरेटर ड्राइज, अगर प्रोपरेटरी बिजनेस है, द पर्सन हु हैज़ टेकन रजिस्ट्रेशन ही हैज़ डाइड, इंडिविजुअल है, मर गया है, तो ऑब्वियसली द लीगल हेड्स कैन नॉट कंटिन्यू द सेम बिजनेस विद दैट ओल्ड रजिस्ट्रेशन. वाई? बिकॉज द ओल्ड रजिस्ट्रेशन इज लिंक टू अ पैन. वो जो पैन से लिंक जो बंदा है वो तो मर गया ना. इमेजिन फादर इज देयर, फादर इज डाइड, son want to run the same business with father's registration number. Can he continue? Answer is no. that old registration will get cancelled, new registration has to continue. Please try to understand. New registration apply करना पड़ेगा. So there are many good cases where registration can be cancelled. See, I am telling those examples where registration is getting cancelled by ours request. हम लोग request कर रहे हैं भाई हमारा registration cancel कर दो. One more case you can add. Imagine I have taken registration why? Because my turnover was crossing 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs. But this year or subsequently my turnover may not cross how much, sir? 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs. I want to go for cancellation of registration. Can you go? Answer is very much yes. Am I clear? Now you should understand one more thing here. What is one more thing here? A situation can arise where government want to cancel your registration. Can they do? मतलब मैं भी तक जो बात कर रहा था वो the applicant can make a application for cancellation. Can the government can also force you that your registration will be cancelled? Answer is very much yes. Like example, you are doing supplies but you don't record the supplies in your books of accounts. You do supplies but you don't pay tax to government. You issue fake invoices, right? You issue invoices, you pass on the credit, but all those invoices are fake invoices. In all this situation, government can go for what, sir? Cancellation of your registration. मतलब powers have been given to the officer of GST that he can serve a notice on you asking you your registration can get cancelled. Don't worry, when our registration is cancelled by the proper officer, a show cause notice will be given. Now you may get a doubt, what is show cause notice? Show cause notice मतलब आपको पूछा जाएगा why your registration should not be cancelled, give us reasons. मतलब indirectly if you don't give reasons, your registration is anyhow cancelled. So government may give you a notice or officer may give you notice saying that why your registration should not be cancelled, show us a cause. If you are in a position to explain properly, sir, these are the reasons why returns were not filed. This is what went wrong in accounting right now. In that case, if it is understandable, then registration may not be cancelled. But if the explanation is not properly given, your registration goes for cancellation. Am I clear? ठीक है. At final level, we will discuss more things about cancellation of registration. Because what will happen with stock which is lying in stock, right? ऐसे goods के बारे में क्या होगा जो stock में पड़े हैं? Because once you cancel the registration, you will not pay tax on it. What will happen with that ITC which is availed in the books but not yet utilized? All those questions we will understand in CA final, not now. ठीक है? चलो आगे जाते हैं, पढ़ लेंगे एक बार. Cancellation of registration could be upon the request of the, I am reading here. Cancellation of registration could be upon the request of the registered person, okay, or the proper officer himself can cancel the registration in a case if the registered person do not comply with the law. Am I clear? Okay. Let us understand circumstances in which registration can be cancelled. Situations बता रहा हूँ कि in what all situations you can go for cancellation of registration. Have a look, sir. If the business is discontinued, very good. Or the business is what, sir? Amalgamated, right? The business is demerged, right? See, you know, demerger case, when a company splits into two, the existing company is called nothing but what, sir? Demerged company. The company which forms is called nothing but what, sir? Resulting company. Resulting company has to apply for fresh registration. Please try to understand. Right now, in a case of proprietary business, the proprietor is either deceased, मर गया है proprietor, disease मतलब मृत्यु हो गई, and the legal heirs has made an application for cancellation of registration. That is also possible. Where there is a change in the constitution of the entity. What do you mean by this? A firm is converting into what, sir? LLP, or a firm is converting into what, sir? Company, or a LLP is converting into what, sir? Company. In all these cases, we can simply say there is a change in the constitution of the entity. अब ध्यान से सुनो. Why we should go for cancellation of registration here? Because PAN of a firm is different from PAN of a company. Permanent account number. When a firm converts into a company, obviously PAN number will undergo a change. Thereby, old registration will get cancelled. You will apply for a fresh registration. Am I clear with this? So these are some circumstances where you can go for what's a cancellation from our side. What about department side? So these are the situations where proper officer can also go for what's a cancellation of your registration. But this will be done only after giving you what's a proper show cause notice. SCN दिया जाएगा आपको reasons बताने पड़ेंगे. Sir, permit us these reasons and don't cancel our registration right now. The burden to prove that registration should not be cancelled is on whom? Is on the registered person only, right? So those cases where government can cancel registration is nothing but you do not issue what's invoices. You make supplies but you don't issue tax invoices, right? The registered person do not file returns. आप returns ही नहीं file करते. And the default continues for a period of more than 6 months or more. Continuously last 6 महीने की returns नहीं डाली आपने. In a case if you are under composition scheme and you fail to file a 3-quarter return, मतलब लगभग 9 महीने की returns आपने नहीं file की, 3 क्वार्टर्स मतलब समझ में आ रहा है ना, 3 months. अगर 3, आई एम नॉट टेलिंग द डिफॉल्ट इज फॉर मोर देन 3 months, प्लीज. द डिफॉल्ट इज फॉर more than 3 quarters. If you fail in filing return for more than 3 quarters, then government से notice आ सकता है why your registration should not be cancelled. Am I clear? So there could be many other situations where registration can be cancelled from the department side also. Right now, you are doing some misrepresentation, or you are doing some willful misstatement, or you are doing some suppression of facts. In all those cases also government can go for what's a cancellation of your registration. Am I clear? But don't forget, see, there are a lot of implications when you cancel your registration. Pending tax liability should be discharged properly, right ना, जो भी टैक्स है अभी तक का वो डिस्चार्ज करना पड़ेगा. इंटरेस्ट इफ एनी शुड बी डिस्चार्ज प्रॉपर्ली. पेनाल्टी इफ एनी शुड बी डिस्चार्ज प्रॉपर्ली. स्टॉक जो भी रहेगा आपके पास, स्टॉक अनसोल्ड गुड्स, उसके ऊपर जो भी टैक्स लायबिलिटी बनती है, दैट ऑल्सो यू नीड टू पे, राइट ना. वॉट एवर क्रेडिट इज देयर इन योर बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स, दैट ऑल्सो यू नीड टू रिवर्स. So there are a lot of implications in the background in practical life when you go for what's a cancellation of registration. Am I clear? So those things I have discussed here. Not relevant for IPCC, but still ये लिख देता हूँ यहाँ पे. उतना इंटरमीडिएट लेवल पे इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, पर फाइनल के लिए वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट है. ठीक है ना सर? सो सेक्शन नंबर 29 डील्स विद नथिंग बट व्हाट सर, कैंसिलेशन ऑफ रजिस्ट्रेशन. अब एक सुपर डुपर इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है. If a registration has been cancelled, can you again revive it? It's like registration has been already cancelled from the department server, registration is no more valid. Can you revive that registration? Government says chances are there. You have to refer with section number 30. Now come to section number 30. What does section number 30 deals with? Section number 30 deals with revival of cancelled registration or revocation of cancellation of registration. Confuse नहीं होना है, बता देता हूँ. देखो वर्ड्स देखो, रिवाइवल जीवित कर देना सिंपल भाषा में. रिवाइवल ऑफ कैंसिल रजिस्ट्रेशन और रेवोकेशन ऑफ कैंसिलेशन ऑफ रजिस्ट्रेशन. मतलब कैंसिल किया और रजिस्ट्रेशन उसको रिवोक बैक कर लेना. रिवोक बैक करने से क्या होगा, रजिस्ट्रेशन विल बिकम लाइव. सो गवर्नमेंट सेज इन अ केस इफ यू वांट टू रिवाइव एनी रजिस्ट्रेशन यू शुड मेक एप्लीकेशन विद इन हाउ मेनी डेज, 30 days. Very very important. Please make an application for revival of registration within 30 days. 30 days from where? 30 days from the date the registration has been cancelled or order of registration cancelled has been served, whichever is later. Earlier नहीं, whichever is later. ये bits में पूछेगा ध्यान से. So I am reading for you. Subject to conditions as notified by central government, a person can make an application for what sir? Revocation of cancellation of registration. An application should be made within how many days? 30 days from the date on which the cancellation order was served on the applicant. The application should be made within 30 days from the date on which the cancellation order was served on the applicant. Right now? Okay. If the registration is cancelled on 28/12/2017, एक डेट एग्जाम्पल बोल रहा हूँ, तो यहाँ से 30 दिन के अंदर आपको अप्लीकेशन डाल देना है. Sir, my registration should not be cancelled, sir. It is already cancelled, we know. It should be revived back. So, if the registration is cancelled on 28/12/2017 and the order for cancellation of registration is served on the SSC on what date, sir? 1/1/2018. Then the count of 30 days will be commenced from what date? 1/1/2008. Because मैंने बोला था ना whichever is later बोल के. So, from 1/1/2018 the count will start in my example. So, please ensure that you make an application for revival of registration within how many days? 30 days. 30 days कहाँ से? From the date of order of cancellation of registration or the date the order got served on you, whichever is later. Am I clear, sir? Because most of the time notices are given electronically. Electronically when the notice of served, they are deemed as served. So मतलब आपको intimation मिल गया है cancellation का, right now? Now, so this is all about revival of cancelled registration. See, after the 30 days period you cannot do anything, sir. You have to apply for a fresh registration only, right ना. वो ओल्ड रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर तो मिलेगा नहीं, नया रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर जनरेट होगा. ठीक है, चलो नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग टू अंडरस्टैंड इज UIN. ये कॉन्सेप्ट थोड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है. दिस विल अंडरस्टैंड इन मोर डीपर सेंस इन रिटर्न चैप्टर. रिटर्न्स बोल के एक चैप्टर उसमें समझा दूंगा. आई विल टेल यू व्हाट इज UIN. सी यू नो फॉरेन डिप्लोमेटिक मिशन, मतलब एम्बसीज रहते हैं ना फॉरेन वर्क के. सी दोज पीपल इन इंडिया, whenever they provide any service or any supply, दे हैव बीन गिवन एग्जम्पशन फ्रॉम जीएसटी. ऐसे नहीं समझ में आएगा, बेटर मैं लिख के बता देता हूँ आपको. हैव लुक सर. सी यूनाइटेड नेशंस ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस और फॉरेन एम्बेसी, क्या हो गया भाई, वाई नॉट रीडिंग. यूनाइटेड नेशंस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन और फॉरेन एम्बेसी, अब ध्यान से सुनो. सी टू थिंग्स यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड. when they provide service such services are what, sir? Exempt from GST. So any service provided by United Nations organizations or foreign embassies are taken as what, sir? Exempt from GST. ये मैंने पढ़ाया था आपको चैप्टर नंबर 4 में. But what about services provided to these people? Services provided TO2 United Nations organizations or foreign embassies etc. Government says this would remain taxable. If you understand the simple terms, if you understand, अगर एक foreign embassy है ना भाई, if they receive service, अगर लोग रिसीव कर रहे हैं सर्विस को, then it is what, sir? Taxable. But if they provide service, then what is the answer? The answer is exempt. अभी यहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम आएगी. See, if you observe, this arrow is nothing but inward supply. For inward supply they will get credit, but the outward supply is completely exempt from tax. So what will they do with this input tax credit? Government says 100% refund would be given for input tax credit. क्यों? ये एक special point है. तो how they will identify that these are foreign embassies? Government says we will recognize these people by giving a number called unique identification number. UIN बोलते हैं इसको. I hope you are understanding now. Now what is UIN? A unique identification number is given to which type of organizations? United Nations organization, or not all, specified only. Likewise foreign embassies, मतलब जो foreign के diplomats इंडिया में हैं उनको एक number allocate किया जाएगा. That numbering system is called nothing but what, sir? UIN. They are unique identification number. Why? Government says once a person is allotted with UIN, what will happen, you know? Whatever inputs के ऊपर, whatever input tax credit is there ना, they can claim 100% refund. Why they can claim 100% refund? Because उनको indirectly छूट दी गई है. They are not supposed to pay any tax in India. Anyhow their outward supply is exempt from GST. Inward supply पे tax तो लग जाएगा, but by filing a return they can claim 100% refund. If I am not wrong, they file a return called what, you know? GST REG 12. GST REG नहीं रहेगा, GST R रहेगा, है ना भाई? Because REG registration का form है. So GST R12 is the form in which this people who holds UIN, they file a return and provide all the details of inward supply for which they want credit. Credit मतलब 100% refund process कर देती है Government of India. So there this number of UIN becomes really important. Am I clear with this? Let's have a look at UIN. पढ़ लो सर एक बार आप लोग, पॉज करके पढ़ लो प्लीज, पॉज करके पढ़ लो. राइट. See, more detailed discussion we'll have in which chapter, you know, return chapter. Because in return chapter, once I am discussing this return called GST R12, there you will understand who can file this. Those people who are holding this, what's our UIN, unique identification number. Right, na sir? Right? Right. See, there are some more topics that we need to cover in registration chapter. See, this point already we have covered in the previous session. The first point is what, you know. See, इन अ केस इफ जॉब वर्कर, मतलब जो दूसरों के लिए काम करता है, मैन्युफैक्चर करता है, इफ अ जॉब वर्कर मेक्स अ सप्लाई ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ प्रिंसिपल, देन व्हाइल कैलकुलेटिंग द टर्नओवर ऑफ प्रिंसिपल you have to include the turnover of whom, sir? Job worker. So whatever outward supplies are made by job worker on behalf of principal, that will be added in the turnover of what, sir? Principal. वो points यहाँ पे दिए हैं मैंने. First point, supply of goods by job worker to be included in supplies of what, sir? Principal. So whatever supplies are done by job worker on behalf of principal, it should be added in whose turnover? Principal's turnover. Right now, what is turnover? Aggregate turnover is nothing but intrastate supplies, interstate supplies, export supplies and exempt supplies. Remember? Right. Supply of goods after completion of job work by a registered job worker shall be treated as supply of goods by the principal. Therefore, this point is relevant in computing the turnover criteria of whom, sir? Principal. Bits में पूछ सकता है. Next, we know the term aggregate turnover includes what? Exempt supplies. Then the term exempt supplies includes non-taxable supplies, negative supplies, alcoholic liquor for human consumption, etc. Now what is this point? See, if you remember, again I am telling you, turnover जो है ना, turnover means what? All type of outward supplies. All type of outward supplies include exempt supplies. When you compute exempt supplies, government says please consider those supplies which are forming part of what list? Negative list. Please also consider those supplies which are forming part of what list? Which are forming part of exempt category. Please consider those supplies which are not even covered by GST. What do you mean by not covered by GST? That is, even liquor is also considered as a part of turnover. So imagine I am running a liquor shop as well as I am into sale of some goods. Then government says liquor turnover plus goods turnover both will be considered together for determining what? Aggregate turnover. Am I clear? तो बोल रहा है यहाँ पे. Therefore, while computing turnover, ये important point है. Therefore, while computing turnover, all type of supplies. Therefore, while computing turnover, all type of supplies, that is taxable supplies, exempt supplies, export supplies should be considered. Everything you have to consider. Whatever outward supply you make, you have to consider. Am I clear? We know as per section 23, we have covered those cases where registration is what, sir? Not required. ऐसे बहुत सारे cases देखे हैं जहाँ पे registration नहीं चाहिए. One more case has been added here, sir. See, if you make supply via e-commerce operator, and if such supply is a supply of service, then registration is not required. If your turnover does not exceed how much, sir? 20 lakhs, 10 lakhs. That's it. Not 40 lakhs, because 40 lakhs is for good. ध्यान से. So मैं क्या बोलना चाहता हूँ? Imagine Mr. X is there. He provides supply of service. This is via e-commerce operator. Mr. X provides supply of service, but this is via e-commerce operator. Then government says Mr. X should not take registration when if his turnover is less than or equal to 10 lakhs or less than or equal to 20 lakhs, depending on where he is providing that supplies. Right now, why this point? Because section number 24 में एक point है, any person making supplies via e-commerce operator should take registration mandatory. Section 24 में बोला है. Section 24 says whenever you make a supply via e-commerce operator, you have to take registration mandatorily. But this point says registration is not required if you are a service provider, SP, supplier नहीं, service provider, and your turnover does not exceed how much, sir? 20 lakhs or 10 lakhs limit. Example, you know this, इसका नाम क्या है? Urban Clap. Urban Clap is an e-commerce operator, right? There are many people who provide service via e-commerce operator, that's through Urban Clap. Those people are not required to take registration. Why? Government says भाई अगर छोटा सप्लाई है, if the turnover does not exceed 20 lakhs, registration is not required. Am I clear? देख लो. Because in those cases the e-commerce operator will pay tax. Come on. Third point है ये. चलो आगे. ठीक है, पढ़ रहा हूँ. One more new case has been added as a part of section 23. That is, a person making supply of service via e-commerce operator is not required to obtain registration if the turnover does not exceed how much, sir? 20 lakhs. But this point is applicable only for service. Don't forget. ये जो गवर्नमेंट ने रिलैक्सेशन दिया है सर्विस के लिए दिया है, गुड्स के लिए नहीं. सो इफ यू आर सप्लाइंग गुड्स बाय ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर, irrespective of your turnover, registration is mandatory. Remember. Yeah, this is one doubt, sir. Imagine if you are making supply of goods or services located in territorial waters of India. Territorial waters of India. For in which state you will take registration is a big question. Because territorial waters of India is not out India only. But कौन से state से आप registration लोगे? Government says you should take registration from the nearest point. Which state falls very nearest to you, you should take registration in that state. Am I clear? So लिख रहा हूँ देखो. Every person who makes a supply from territorial waters of India right now shall obtain what, sir? Registration in the state or union territory where the nearest point of baseline is located. Where the nearest point of baseline is what, sir? Located. A person who has obtained registration voluntarily, then his two place of business will be treated as what, sir? Distinct person. That is, such place has a different registration number. Already cover कर दिया है. So if a same person got two place of business and those two place of business got two different registration numbers, अलग अलग registration है, then these two offices will be taken as what, sir? Distinct person. Important है, ध्यान से. Yeah, this is something called suo motu registration by officers. मैं बोलता हूँ ये पॉइंट क्या है, कंफ्यूज नहीं होना है, सुना है आराम से. See, sometimes department officers goes for a survey करो, search करो. They come to know certain persons are having huge turnover, but they don't take registration because on paper they don't show any much turnover. See, I should not tell you, there are many coaching centers who provide lot of coaching services. They collect lot of revenue from students, but on paper they don't show it. So imagine in a survey, government comes to know a coaching center got a turnover of more than 20 lakhs, but they have not taken registration. So government can now force you to take registration. That forcing by government to take registration is called suo motu registration by proper officer. समझ में आ रहा है? अब एक कोचिंग सेंटर है सर. A coaching center got 500 students. From each student they are charging 10,000. So 10,000 into 500, that itself makes how much, sir? 50 lakh rupees. In a single batch, the faculty or coaching center is collecting 50 lakh rupees in a single batch, but they are not taking registration. Okay, and government at that spot, can they hand over registration and say you are registered under GST law? Okay, that permission was not there in the old law, but after amendment they brought this point saying that a proper officer having some source of information can hand over registration on spot, but that registration is only temporary registration. Have a look, sir. Important है, ध्यान से. Conceptual important, not for exam. Right. In a case of any survey, inquiry, inspection, search, or any other proceeding under the law, the proper officer finds that, I hope you are able to follow me, the proper officer finds that the person liable to register has not obtained registration, then such officer may register the same person on temporary basis and issue an order in which form? GST REG 12. Temporary registration थमा के चले जाएगा वो. Continue. The effective date of registration shall be the date of what, sir? Order. The date this order is given, registration is deemed to have been granted. The order of the proper officer granting temporary registration is what, sir? Appealable. Because try to understand, please understand, government made an opinion that 500 students are there, everyone is paying 10,000, 50 lakhs collection आ गया, thereby they should go for registration. But imagine a case, out of that 500 student, only 20 are paid, rest are not even paid, or that just temporary basis, they came for a demo class, example sake. So in that case, is the registration required? That order of the officer granting registration should be appealable or not? Yes. Government says if you are offended with the order temporary registration, you can go for appeal. Have a look. If you did not file for any appeal, आपको लगता है ठीक है registration is required and you have taken registration. If no appeal is filed, आपने appeal नहीं की, किसके against में? Temporary registration के against में. Then within the period of 90 days, a fresh application should be made to obtain a permanent registration. Why? What has been given by the officer is only temporary registration. Within 90 days time, you should apply for what, sir? Fresh registration. Am I clear? Imagine if you filed an appeal and you win the case. आपने appeal file की, right ना? Tribunal में file करना पड़ेगा. You win the case. In that case, the temporary registration is what, sir? Cancelled. But imagine a case, you made an appeal and you lose the case. आपने case हार गया. In that case, what will happen? You should make a fresh application within a period of 30 days from the date the order of appellate authority is received. Imagine आपने अपील की, अपील में आप हार गए, तो appellate authority ने order पास किया होगा, the registration लेना पड़ेगा, वहाँ से 30 days के अंदर you need to apply for what, sir? Registration. The temporary registration will get closed and you have to apply for a fresh registration within how many days? Within 30 days from the date of appellate order. Appellate authority has passes order. Am I clear? ठीक है. तो दिस इज अ स्मॉल पॉइंट ऑन सुओ मोटो रजिस्ट्रेशन. यहाँ पे लिख देता हूँ, आपको क्लैरिटी रहेगी. सुओ मोटो registration. दिस इज कॉल नथिंग बट व्हाट सर, सुओ मोटो रजिस्ट्रेशन. एम आई क्लियर? नेक्स्ट पॉइंट जा रहा हूँ. What is the difference between CTP and NRTP? Very very important sir, I'll tell you. Very important. Confuse नहीं होना. Broadly I'll explain you. थोड़ा please confuse नहीं होना. CTP, NRTP दो अलग अलग लोग हैं ये. CTP is nothing but casual taxable person. NRTP is नाम ही है non-resident taxable person. Now what is CTP? Try to understand. A casual taxable person is one who provides supplies at a place where it does not have a permanent place of business. मतलब एग्जीबिशंस लोग कंडक्ट करते हैं, वहाँ पे क्या उनका प्लेस ऑफ बिजनेस है वो? नो, दे रोम ऑल ओवर इंडिया एंड दे मेक सप्लाईज. गवर्नमेंट सेज इफ यू आर अ पर्सन एंड यू आर मेकिंग अ टैक्सेबल सप्लाई एट अ प्लेस वेर यू डोंट हैव अ परमानेंट प्लेस ऑफ बिजनेस, इन दैट केस व्हाट यू शुड डू? यू शुड अप्लाई फॉर कैजुअल टैक्सेबल पर्सन. आपको CTP का रजिस्ट्रेशन लेना पड़ेगा. नो, व्हाट हैपेंस इफ यू टेक CTP registration? I'll tell you. See, once you apply for CTP registration, government will ask you to estimate your tax liability and pay the tax in advance. Please try to understand. Imagine I'm having a coaching center in Telangana. I also go to Bangalore for a private coaching center to teach classes there. Example sake. Now, I don't have any permanent place of business in Bangalore, Karnataka. Then government says, do one thing, Ashwin Gilda, because you are going to Karnataka to teach classes there. What is your turnover? Depending on your turnover, estimated turnover at Bangalore, you please pay 18% tax right now. समझ में आ रहा है? मतलब a casual taxable person has to estimate his outward liability and has to pay tax right now. मतलब before he provides any service at that place, he has to take registration as a CTP and also pay the tax in advance. Not only that, sir. The validity of a CTP is generally 90 days. It can be further extended for a period of 90 more days. Right now, 180 days से ज़्यादा CTP का registration नहीं रहता है. If you want to provide service beyond 90 days or you want to provide service beyond 90 days, 90 plus 90, 180 ले सकते हो आप. उससे भी ज़्यादा करना है, more than 180 days, then you have to apply for a permanent registration. Am I clear? ठीक है. As a casual taxable person, nothing wrong, sir. You can avail all ITCs. Right now, for the registration आपको ITC मिलेगा. You need to compute outward liability, you need to pay your tax, everything is normal. Only thing is you got a registration which is a temporary registration. Am I clear? उसको हम लोग बोलेंगे कैजुअल टैक्सेबल पर्सन, CTP बोलेंगे उसको. ठीक है ना? अब व्हाट इज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट, व्हाट अबाउट NRTP? उसके नाम में देखो, नॉन रेसिडेंट टैक्सेबल पर्सन. See, a non-resident taxable person is one who is a non-resident of India. Need not be individual, it may be any person. He want to make a supply in India. Let it be business supply, let it be in the course of business, let it not be in the course of business. He want to make some supplies. Government says, if he has, ध्यान से सुनना है, if he has PAN, he has to take registration as a CTP. If he does not have a PAN, then he has to take registration as NRTP. अब ध्यान से सोचना है. एक इंडिविजुअल आया है, if a non-resident individual comes to India and you want to make certain supplies here, ask him, sir, do you have PAN? If he says yes, अगर इंडिया में उसका PAN है, he has to take registration as a CTP, casual taxable person. If he says no, he does not have a PAN of India, permanent account number नहीं है इंडिया का, then he has to take registration as what, NRTP. Now there's a big line of difference between CTP and NRTP is what, a non-resident taxable person does not have a PAN. He makes a supply occasionally at a place where he does not have a place of business. The supply may be in the course of business, the supply may not be in the course of business. Please. A non-resident taxable person does not file normal return. He files return in a form called GSTR 5. वो धीरे धीरे पढ़ाऊंगा. Return chapter में you will understand more details, because a casual taxable person files returns GSTR 1 followed with GSTR 3B. But whereas NRTP files a return called what, sir? GSTR 5. There's one more line of difference between CTP. A casual taxable person जो है ना सर, वो he can avail input tax credit of all inward supplies. But whereas a non-resident taxable person can avail input tax credit only of import goods. सर में आ रहा है? वो धीरे धीरे डिफरेंस समझा देता हूँ सर. बता देता हूँ, देखो, जस्ट गिव मी 1 मिनट. Yeah, come. First point, a casual taxable person means a person who occasionally undertakes, occasionally, regularly नहीं, who occasionally undertakes transactions involving supply of goods or services in the course of business. ये words देखो यहाँ पे, in the course of business, whether as an agent, principal or in any other capacity in a state or union territory where he has no fixed place of business. आप एक ऐसे स्टेट में नहीं तो ऐसे यूनियन टेरिटरी में बिजनेस मतलब बिजनेस कर रहे हो जहाँ पे आपका कोई परमानेंट प्लेस ऑफ बिजनेस नहीं है. एंड बिकॉज यू डोंट हैव एनी परमानेंट प्लेस ऑफ बिजनेस, व्हाट यू नीड टू डू सर, गवर्नमेंट सेज नथिंग, you take a registration as what sir, CTP. Okay, but to take a registration as CTP you should have what sir, valid PAN तो चाहिए. Registration is like normal registration आप जैसे लेते हो वैसे लेना है. And the form in which you need to make an application is GST REG 01, normal registration only. A CTP can make a supply in the course of what sir, business. मतलब NRTP से कंपेयर करने पर CTP makes a supply in the course of business, but whereas NRTP may supply in the course of business or may not supply in the course of business. He has to take registration as NRTP. देखेंगे. Return filing is also very normal. GSTR1 along with GSTR3. These are called regular returns. Returns chapter में पढ़ाऊंगा. These are called what, you know, regular returns. But a non-resident files a special return, and that special return is called nothing but GSTR5. Am I clear? A casual taxable person can claim ITC on all inward supply. हर inward supply पे आपको क्रेडिट मिल जाएगा, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. Am I clear sir? बट वॉट अबाउट NRTP? अब NRTP पढ़ते हैं सर, इंपॉर्टेंट है, ध्यान से बोल रहा हूँ. NRTP मीन्स अ पर्सन हु अकेशनली undertakes transaction involving supply of goods or services whether as a principal or agent in any other capacity but has no fixed place of business or residence in India. एक लाइन आप अगर यहाँ पे डिफरेंस देखो, आप जो CTP है he will provide supplies in the course of business. But whereas NRTP may supply in the course of business, may not supply in the course of business. A CTP should have a PAN, but whereas NRTP does not have PAN. अगर नॉन रेसिडेंट के पास अगर PAN रहेगा तो he will take registration as CTP only ना, why he will take registration as NRTP. So a non-resident, if he has PAN, he will become CTP. If a non-resident does not have PAN, he will take registration as what sir, NRTP. Please, right? Different application form is required to get registration, and the special form for registration is what, you know, GST REG 09. Right? He should make a, there is no such requirement that he should make a supply in the course of business. ऐसा कोई रूल नहीं है. He files a special return called what sir, GSTR5. Who? NRTP. अब ये very important point है. See, NRTP cannot avail credit of any input. Please try to understand. जो नॉन रेसिडेंट है ना, अगर वो लोकली गुड्स खरीद के लोकली बेचता है, कोई क्रेडिट नहीं मिलता. गवर्नमेंट नहीं देंगे भाई. वी आर नॉट एनकरेजिंग नॉन रेसिडेंट टू डू बिजनेस इन इंडिया. पर अगर एक नॉन रेसिडेंट बाहर से कुछ गुड्स और सर्विस लेके आता है, इफ ही इंपोर्ट्स एनी गुड्स और सर्विसेज, ओनली ऑन दोज इंपोर्टेड गुड्स और सर्विसेज ही कैन अवेल क्रेडिट. टू विच क्रेडिट? कॉमन सेंस IGST क्रेडिट. क्यों? तो बेसिक कस्टम ड्यूटी का क्रेडिट तो ऐसे भी नहीं मिलता. कस्टम ड्यूटी भरोगे तो क्रेडिट मिलेगा क्या? नहीं मिलेगा ना. बिकॉज क्रेडिट अंडर GST लॉ इज ओनली ऑफ व्हाट सर, CGST, IGST, UTGST or what sir, SGST. When he is doing import of goods, he will end up paying what sir, basic custom duty and IGST. BCD का तो क्रेडिट नहीं मिलेगा, basic custom duty no credit, so he will end up getting credit of what sir, IGST. Am I clear? So this point I have covered here. So I'll write in a nutshell. Credit is only on import. So whenever he is coming to India, whatever import he has taken, उसी का क्रेडिट मिलेगा और किसी का भी क्रेडिट नहीं मिलेगा. Am I clear? चलो नेक्स्ट पॉइंट जा रहा हूँ. नेक्स्ट स्पेशल पॉइंट, स्पेशल प्रोविजंस रिलेटिंग टू व्हाट सर, CTP. कैजुअल टैक्सेबल पर्सन पे स्पेशल प्रोविजंस क्या है? क्वेश्चन इज वाई वी आर डिस्कसिंग. CTP के बारे में थोड़े बहुत क्वेश्चन आ रहे हैं एग्जाम में, सो वी शुड नॉट टेक इट लाइट. वी आर रनिंग अ डीपर सेंस, थोड़ा पढ़ लेंगे ध्यान से. ऑल्दो स्मॉल बिट्स ICAI इज आस्किंग. सी फर्स्ट वन, a CTP has to make application at least 5 days prior to the commencement of business. जिस प्लेस में आपका बिजनेस नहीं है, at that point of time, at that place you want to provide any supply, but you don't have any place of business permanently there. So government says before you make a supply, ensure that you make an application at least 5 days in advance. 5 दिन पहले आप application डाल दो as a CTP. Am I clear? The certificate of registration issued to a CTP is valid for, this is very important, It is valid for the period specified in the application or 90 days from the effective date of registration, whichever is earlier. Whichever is earlier, WEE. Suppose example, I go to Bangalore. मैं तो तेलंगाना का पर्सन हूँ ना. I go to Bangalore, Karnataka to take coaching classes there, but I don't have any permanent place of business there. Occasionally, whichever institute calls me, I go as a freelancer and teach there. Government says you are going to Bangalore, Karnataka, and you don't have any permanent place of business there. So before you go to Bangalore, you start providing your service. 5 दिन पहले application ले लो as a CTP. Imagine in that application I said my coaching classes will run for 25 days. Then government says the registration is also given validity only for how many days? 25 days. Therefore the validity of registration is nothing but the period specified in the application or 90 days, whichever is earlier. So in simple terms, the maximum validity of a CTP registration is not beyond how many days? 90 days. तो क्या एक्सटेंड नहीं कर सकते? कर सकते. कितने दिन के लिए कर सकते? Max to max for the 90 days. That point is next point. Upon the request of CTP, the registration period can be extended for a period not exceeding 90 days. So original period plus 90 days. Don't say 90 plus 90 180. ऐसा नहीं होगा. Because the original period is say 25 days. It can be further extended for a maximum period of how many days? 90 more days. So it can be 25 plus 90. That's it. Come on. A CTP has effected supplies only after registration. मतलब a casual taxable person cannot say I'll make supply first then I'll take registration. ऐसा नहीं होगा. You have to take registration first then make a supply. Right now, in simple terms, registration should be first and supply should be next. A CTP shall at the time of submission of application for registration make an advance payment. बोला था ना आपको ये point मैंने that government says when you take registration as a CTP, along with the registration you have to pay a tax. Question is what is this tax? This is called advance tax. Advance क्यों? Supply देने के पहले ही before you make any supply, you have to make an estimation of your supply and find out the tax liability. उस tax liability का अभी कभी advance payment कर देना है. Don't worry, if you have paid more, you will get refund at the time of filing the return. If you have paid less, balance tax will be required at the time of filing return. देखेंगे, right? The amount deposited on estimation basis can be utilized to discharge tax liability arising on actual supply. समझ में आ रहा है? Imagine I estimated that my supply value would be only 50,000, and on that 50,000 I have paid 18% tax on estimation basis. But actual supply was 55,000. In that case, on that additional 5,000 I need to pay balance tax. When I will pay? At the time of filing return. ठीक है ना सर? चलो. Imagine if the tax is paid advance में excess. Don't worry, at the time of filing return I'll get refund of excess tax. Right ना sir? So this completes your important points on CTP. Oof. This completes your important point on what's a CTP. यहाँ पे एक पॉइंट क्वेश्चन पूछा है. दिस इज ऑल्सो इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर एग्जाम. इन अ केस इफ अ सप्लायर वांट्स टू टेक रजिस्ट्रेशन एज अ CTP फॉर मोर देन 180 डेज, इज इट पॉसिबल? कौन बोलता है काम कर भाई, अगर 180 दिन से ज़्यादा मोर देन 180 डेज इफ यू वांट टू प्रोवाइड अ सप्लाई, व्हाई यू वांट टू टेक अ रजिस्ट्रेशन एज CTP? टेक परमानेंट रजिस्ट्रेशन. मतलब इमेजिन यू गो फॉर एग्जीबिशन नॉट फॉर परचेजिंग, एज अ सप्लाई. आप एग्जीबिशन जाते हो, वहाँ पे सप्लाई करते हो. यू रोम ऑल ओवर इंडिया एंड यू वांट टू मेक सप्लाई, एंड एट अ सिंगल प्लेस यू वांट टू मेक अ सप्लाई फॉर मोर देन 180 days. Government says not possible because CTP registration cannot be valid for more than 180 days. If anyone want to take registration as a CTP for more than 180 days, answer is no, not possible. You have to take registration normally. आपको permanent registration लेना पड़ेगा. And whenever you feel अब अभी हमको एक्टिविटी नहीं करनी, you can go for surrender of that registration. But a CTP registration is not valid for more than how many days? More than 180 days. याद रख लेना, ठीक है ना? So almost this completes our registration chapter. There are some other small issues in registration which I'll cover in a separate video. Okay ना? वो हार्डली हाफ एन आवर का रहेगा, वो भी देख लेना, मिस मत होना. Because all miscellaneous issues which are not covered in this video classes I'll take in the next video. Right? Thank you.